the most famous and, let's face it, controversial entrepreneurs on the planet, Elon Musk. Millions see him as a total visionary, a real-life Tony Stark. But is this story we all think we know the real story?
You've probably heard this quote before. It's totally central to the popular image of Elon Musk, the self-made billionaire. It's that classic rags to riches tale. But the source material for this explainer asks a pretty blunt question. Is that the whole truth? Okay, let's get into it.
So let's start with the first and maybe the most powerful myth of all, this whole from zero to hero narrative that's inspired so many people.
So, check this out. On this slide, we have two wildly different stories. On the left, you've got Musk's famous humble origin story. But on the right, that's a claim from a 2024 podcast by his own father, Elon Musk, who co-owned an emerald mine in Zambia and talked about having so much cash they literally couldn't shut their safe. So, which one is it?
Well, the source material we're looking at points out that Musk's background was far from humble. I mean, his dad wasn't just some wealthy guy. We're talking about selling rough emeralds directly to jewelers like Tiffany's in New York. And Musk himself? He went to some of the most exclusive and expensive schools in the world, from an elite high school in South Africa all the way to the Wharton Business School.
And here's the kicker, according to the source. The point isn't that being born rich is somehow a crime. Not at all. The argument is that the story of starting with basically nothing is a total fabrication. That $2,500, it wasn't his life savings. It was just a travel allowance for his student visa. Basically, pocket money from an incredibly wealthy family.
Okay, so that's the self-made myth. Let's move on to myth number 2 and see how this all starts to build. The idea of Musk as the brilliant, visionary founder of these world-changing companies like Tesla and PayPal.
This timeline is, well, it's pretty revealing. See, Musk wasn't even there when Tesla started in 2003. He came in a year later as an early investor, used that financial leverage to become chairman, and then, after a pretty nasty power struggle, he kicked out the original CEO. A lawsuit followed, and the result? A secret court settlement that officially gave him the title of co-founder.
And I mean, listen to that quote. That's a powerful claim. The original founder and CEO, Martin Eberhard, has gone on record saying that the history Musk tells is basically a complete rewrite designed to put himself right at the center of the story.
And you know the PayPal story? According to the source, it follows a pretty similar pattern. He didn't create it, his company merged with the company that owned PayPal. He became CEO, but was reportedly fired by his own board for poor leadership while he was on his honeymoon, no less. So the big takeaway? That massive $165 million payout he got came from his stake as an investor, not from his performance as the company's leader.
All right, this brings us to myth number 3, and this is a big one. It's the image of Elon Musk as the anti-establishment hero, the libertarian crusader who's totally against government subsidies and waste.
Okay, get ready for this number, $38 billion. That is, according to a 2025 Washington Post investigation cited in our source, the amount of money Musk's companies have gotten in government contracts, loans, and subsidies over the last 20 years.
And let's be super clear here. This wasn't private investment money. This was taxpayer money. Billions from NASA, billions from the Department of Defense, billions in government loans for Tesla. As you can see, this fire hose of public funding actually makes his companies some of the largest government contractors in the entire world.
And here's where the story gets truly wild. The irony, as the source points out, is almost unbelievable. The man, whose companies were built on tens of billions of dollars in government funds, was then put in charge of cutting government spending.
So you have to ask, right? With all this new power to slash government waste and save us all money, where did he begin? What was his first priority?
Well, according to a March 2025 report mentioned in the source material, the answer is just remarkable. The first 11 agencies he targeted for dismantling, it just so happens they were all actively investigating his own companies for everything from worker complaints to financial fraud. What a coincidence.
So, okay, if he's not the self-made man, not the genius founder, and certainly not the anti-government hero, then what is he? Well, the source proposes a completely different narrative.
The source calls this a subsidy harvesting strategy. It's a business model that creates this perfect circular system. The argument isn't that Musk is self-made, it's that he's system-made, an expert at using public funds and political influence to build his empire and then protect it. So the huge takeaway from the source material is really this. His incredible success story is maybe less about a single individual genius, and a lot more about mastering a system of leveraging family wealth, public funds, and political power to get what you want.
Now, let's be fair. His companies have had real, tangible achievements. I mean, SpaceX launches rockets, and Tesla completely reinvented the electric car. Nobody can deny that. But the source material leaves us with this final, really provocative thought, and it encourages all of us to look a little more critically at the stories we're told about wealth and success.